All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, or should say good morning, here on another edition of the award-winning high school and college sports show, serving the tri-state area, Voice of Reason. This is Jake Schwartz for another edition of, well, actually, today is a golf event. It's the second edition of Voice of Reason, but it's, of course, the 2017 edition, the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Bucks County. And as you all know, the big story today is whoever wins is Big Brothers and Big Sisters certainly wins. The annual golf event, of course, of the year, and we certainly have quite a few celebrities who are coming out here today, and we're very delighted to have them here with us. I just spoke with a few of them just moments ago. Two of the Big Five coaches are here. Actually, we're supposed to have three. Four of the City Six, to be exact. Zach Spiker of Drexel will be coming on. Voice of Reason will also have the likes of John Giannini of LaSalle, Steve Donahue of the University of Pennsylvania. We'll also have Fran Dunphy returning once again, as usual. Just actually took a picture with Coach Donahue and Giannini to get things going for Big Brothers and Big Sisters. All proceeds, of course, today will benefit the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Bucks County, so we'll be here throughout the day getting ourselves ready to go for what should be a great event. I mean, we have worked really incredibly hard for this day, and I want to thank my good friend Gene Colber for helping me out with an event like really for allowing myself to do this. Gene Colber, of course, if those of you who don't know him, Gene is the president and CEO of Gene Colber Advertising. He is the former, originally known as the great Gene Kay, the legendary disc jockey here in the Philadelphia area. So we're so glad to have him in our lives. And, we just want to, again, as mentioned, thank him for joining us. And today we'll have some great celebrities who will be joining us again throughout the duration of today. I know I'm as excited as ever. Hopefully, like I said, we'll start the interviews in a few moments. But right now, let's sit back, relax. There's some food, I know, bouncing around, so we'll definitely worry about doing that. And we'll be on the golf course throughout the day as well, and we'll just enjoy ourselves again. As mentioned, I know it's not as pretty as it was on Thursday. And again, thanks to all my guests on at the Drive for Autism for joining us, including my boss, Arthur Kepner. I'm told the race went really well on Sunday, but like I said, we're just set to go because today is Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Bucks County. So sit back, relax, and enjoy yourselves on another edition of the award-winning high school and college sports show, Voice of Reason. Here again at the Springville Country Club here in Ivyland, Pennsylvania. I should say it's actually Northampton or close to a Warminster type area. And I'm standing alongside two of my favorite Big Five college coaches. And actually had one of them, by the way. This is actually the second time I've actually had the LaSalle coach, Coach John Giannini, and a man that I've had many times here on Voice of Reason, University of Pennsylvania, Steve Donahue. Gentlemen, it's such a thrill to see both of you, by the way. And, man, how many years back to the three of us go?
Well, I'm lucky to be in my 13th year here, so it's been a while and it's been great.
Yeah. Let's actually bring in the third member of the Big Five. Fran Dunphy is also joining us again as well, and it's. Where's it going?
Yeah, where's it going? This
broadcast. This audio goes to the best podcast in America, Voice of Reason, and you know that.
I love your podcast, Jake.
I literally, you know what? I was just in the pro shop with Fran Dunphy, and apparently I'm now a spokesperson because he was buying something for Rhea, and apparently I'm not allowed to comment anymore on what you're buying.
It was just a golf shirt.
Gentlemen, it's so good to see the three of you, by the way, here, and we'll hopefully be joined later by Drexel coach Zach Spiker. But it's been certainly a great turnout so far. This is very special to someone like you, Fran Dunphy, because you're actually on the board of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. Would you like to tell people about that?
Well, I am, Jake. It's a wonderful organization. I think they do great work, and they do just talking about how much it costs to mentor a young person, and then how much it also costs when we have to incarcerate a young person, and it's a vast difference. Yeah. So anytime we can get some of these young guys to do the right things, it's a great thing, and that's what Big Brothers is trying to do. And I think the the issue is, I think the mentors gain more out of it than the mentees get, and that's the most fun part.
Yeah, so one thing I'm definitely happy about to talk to you about is we've had a really great month of high school basketball, getting ready for the live period, and then of course we'll see each other before at the Temple team camps. But it's been a pretty good run. What's been going on with Temple basketball lately?
I think we all do the same thing, Jake. We just try to call a lot of kids and get the coaches' understanding of what the kids are all about, and try to find the right fit for your program. And hopefully we're all going to get guys that are going to help us be better coaches, to be honest with you. It's all about the players.
And Josh Brown coming back, I believe, I'm told, for his senior year. How excited are you to having him?
Very, very excited.
Yes,
I think we missed him greatly last year.
yeah.
I missed him on a personal note, very, very much.
How
so.
about how about the new recruits that are coming in? Devondre Perry from out in Baltimore. How excited are you ready? Is the feeling going to be on North Broad Street?
Yeah, we all four of these guys that we have coming in, we all think that they're going to help us a great deal. So, and the guys coming back, we think we're poised to have a good year, and that's what we're hoping for. We didn't play as well as we would have liked to last year, so we got a lot of work to do.
How much fun do you usually have besides being the big brothers and big sisters? You love just being heavily involved with charity. You're one of the co-presidents of the Coaches versus Cancer, along with Phil Martelli, who unfortunately could not be here today. But how much fun do you love just being involved in charity like this?
Well, I think all of us feel the same way. We're pretty lucky to have these jobs, and we have to give something back, and these are great ways to do it, whether it's Coaches versus Cancer or Big Brothers, Big Sisters, and all of us have other things that we're responsible for, and it's a great way to give back, and we have to teach our guys that the same thing.
Yeah. Steve Donahue joins us now. Steve, Fran Dunphy is out of here. Good to see. Thank you, Fran Dunphy, for joining us, and let's bring in the man who I absolutely have the utmost respect for. Is the great Steve Donahue. First of all, it's good to have you back in Philadelphia. 2 years now. You're going to be in your third year. What an amazing turnout we've had here today at Big Brothers.
It's been great.
So looks like Dan. Looks like the greatest arguably the greatest PA announcer is actually walking into the picture. Though.
Wow, the two
Hopefully
greats.
going to talk to. Oh no. He's definitely.
Love the story about it. Did you see the story?
Yes. Did everybody? I know that everybody read that article. So again, we have. We apologize for. Looks like we're being interrupted by probably the greatest hitter in baseball. Good to see you as always, Greg the Bull Lazinski and Dan Baker. But let's talk about again, as mentioned, the most important thing, your career. You've got a great thing going at the University of Pennsylvania. Talk about what we're expecting this coming season for Penn basketball.
We're excited. We have two or three young kids that played a lot last year.
Yeah.
They're all coming back, and then we have some good recruits. So like everybody else at this time of year,
Who are
we're
the
excited. Jelani Williams.
Yeah.
From Sidwell Friends.
That's right.
Eddie Scott from Gonzaga.
Let's pause.
Sound great as usual.
So as mentioned again, we just had a really nice picture. We definitely want to talk to, like I said, all three of the Big Five coaches, and there's four actually that are coming today. But again, as mentioned, you know that the biggest season ticket holder in media at Penn is probably got to be me, right?
Voice, you're loyal to all of us, and I'm
Yes.
particularly
Yes.
grateful that you're loyal to the Quakers.
Let's talk about the charity that we do. As Coach Dunphy mentioned to us, we talk a lot about charity, and that's the big. Besides Big Brothers, but Coaches versus Cancer is probably one of my favorite projects, I guess, to tackle on, along with Coach G and Fran and Phil, who are the co-presidents. What is the best part about being a part of a charity like this?
Well, anytime in life, that's what I like to teach my team, teach my family, teach myself, that it's if you can do that, your life is better for it. It's an intrinsic value I think I get, and most people do, when you help others that are in need.
You started really as an assistant at Penn. You're pretty much loyal to Philadelphia, like Fran Dunphy. You actually are pretty much, he's like sort of like your big brother, I guess you could say. You learned a lot from him the years that you were an assistant, then moved on to coach at both Cornell and Boston College. Any thoughts of how far you've transitioned yourself?
Well, as you mentioned, I was very fortunate to be under his tutelage for 10 years.
Yeah.
And it's like you're getting a doctorate.
You were there for a long time, actually.
in coaching, and we won a lot, fortunately. And then I got to go up to Cornell and figure out things, and was fortunate to
Go to the Sweet
be
16,
successful,
if
go
we
to
actually
Sweet 16.
remember. Yeah,
And
yeah,
then,
you had a lot of great
And
success.
had a terrific experience in the ACC. So, and now I'm back at Penn, where I really love, because they're committed to academics and committed to athletic excellence. And
This is definitely one of your favorite places, I know, to be at, is Philadelphia, because again, you coached here both high school and college. Have you are you planning on staying here for a long time?
I would love to be here. I think we can achieve great things in the college basketball at Penn. As I said, it's a place that's committed to basketball excellence, and you get incredible kids, and our league has gotten considerably better.
All right, let's bring in John Giannini if we have a few minutes of his time. And again, it looks like Steve Donahue. Thanks, hey Steve. Thank you, buddy.
Thanks, boys.
Good to see you, John Giannini. Welcome back to the show. It's good to see you, by the way.
It's great to be here. I appreciate you encouraging me to be here today, Jacob. It's a great event, and thanks for promoting it and getting people here.
Well, you're one of my, along with Steve and Donahue and Fran Dunphy, you're probably one of my favorite people just to talk to. This was a great year for LaSalle basketball. All three of the Big Five coaches here today had great success this year. Really, let's talk about that season overview, because you had a really good year in the A-10. It was not what you were hoping.
Yeah, it was mixed. We started out 11-5 and 5-1 and tied for first in the A-10. And then Pookie Powell got hurt, and frankly, we were never quite the same afterwards, and injuries are a part of it. They're not excuses, but realistically, we weren't the same. So the next man thing up concept didn't go great for us. We finished 500 in the league, 500 overall, but we were frustrated just because I thought we were on track for a really good season. Pookie got hurt, and then frankly we lost some confidence, and some guys pressed a little bit. Then B.J. Johnson got hurt, and by the time everyone was healthy, I felt like our confidence was nowhere near the same. But we move ahead, and we have a lot of good returning players and some good young players, so we're pretty fired up moving forward.
You're very involved with the charity, and as we mentioned with the Coach Steve Donahue and Coach Fran Dunphy, you're part of the Coaches versus Cancer. What's been the best part about being a part of that project?
Well, I'll give you just an example from this Saturday. The Kathy Miller Fund is run by Frank Miller, and Frank lost Kathy to cancer, so he's raised a lot of money and given it back to Coaches versus Cancer, and a lot of that money has gone towards the building of Hope Lodge and really helping people's lives. But now Frank was diagnosed with cancer.
Yeah, I think I remember hearing about that.
And sure enough, I go to this event, not sure if Frank would be here because I know his situation had some seriousness to it, but nonetheless, Frank's there. He got a good report from his doctors, and it looks like he's going to beat it. And I say that because he asked, what's the best thing? And those kind of stories are the best things.
I think he's a pretty passionate guy.
He's a very passionate guy, but to see people confronted with this disease, or confronted with situations and overcome them, and that's just the best. Seeing people get their lives back on track and seeing people get the help that they need.
He's a great human being, and we see him a lot at the basketball type of games. First, so what are we expecting really on the rise for LaSalle?
Well, again, we should be really good. We have a lot of good returning players, and I think we have some freshmen last year that didn't play because we were older that I think are really talented and are really going to surprise people. I think our incoming freshman group is pretty talented, and I think we're going to play the older guys. I think we're going to play the younger guys. I think we're going to be a little deeper. I think we're going to have great competition, and I think it's a talented group. So with that in mind, we chose a very challenging schedule, but it's a high-risk, high-reward schedule. So if we win enough games, we should have a chance to be a postseason team.
And anytime, like I said, you and I get together, we always have a lot of fun. Like I said, being at the Big Brothers and Big Sisters certainly shows that as individuals, coaches, and even as broadcasters like myself, we can really make a difference in young boys' and girls' lives.
Yeah, you nailed it, Jake, and thanks for, again, promoting this event and encouraging us all to be here.
Well, that, like I said, the last time we really had a chance to talk, we were at the state championships. I had mentioned to you that the alarm in my hotel had actually gone off that night. You told a nice story about how on my wedding night, the alarm in your hotel actually went off. And I say this to the 4 of the 5 coaches or 6 coaches who are coming here today that if I ever had a dead body, I think the 4 of you would probably be there to help me. Well, we're not sure about that one.
We would do whatever we could to help you, Jake. We love your passion. We love your role in the basketball community. You're close with the players. You're close with the high school coaches, the college coaches. So, and the interesting thing is this community, whether it's Coaches vs. Cancer, Big Brothers, this community does give back. Yeah. This community does some neat things, and you're a big part of it, Jake.
Yeah, you definitely, like I said, you like I said before, you pretty much nailed it as well. As we want to thank again Fran Dunphy of Temple, John Giannini of LaSalle, Steve Donahue of Penn on another issue of Voice of Reason here at the Big Brothers and Big Sisters. It's a little bit of a rainy day again here at the Springville Country Club in Warminster, PA. Back with more after this on the Voice of Reason Network. All right, so we're here at the Springville Country Club again in Warminster, Pennsylvania, and sitting a guy complaining next to me is actually wondering if it's audio or video. One of my favorite guests here on Voice of Reason, and the guy literally does push-ups as soon as he walks in for being late. I know that's actually the motto for you, Zach Spiker, who is here today, the head coach at Drexel. Zach, how you doing, man? It's good to see you, and it's good to have you here today and on a rainy day here at Big Brothers and Big Sisters.
Voice, we're doing great, and we're honored to be a part of this event and support the Big Brothers Big Sisters charity. And a little wet, but that never stops anybody from supporting the right cause, and we're happy to be here. I apologize for being late. Okay. I was a few minutes late, but I did the number of minutes late I was in push-ups there on the ground, and I think we're back on even footing.
Well, we like I said, more importantly, when we get to support you at something like this, you know that when it comes to winning basketball games, and I guess nobody has done it as well as you have, especially from your days at the University of Army. And I can only think of 2 other coaches that have had as much success at that school, other than yourself, and they're Hall of Fame coaches, Mike Krzyzewski and Bobby Knight. And you've really tackled along winning success like the 2 of them. How far do you think you've come along from going from Army to a school like Drexel?
Well, I think it's Army West Point, not the University of Army.
That's true. It is Army West Point. You're right.
But, coaching at the United States Military Academy is a tremendous honor. It's also a tremendous opportunity for a young coach at the time to really learn what you want to be about and how you want to go about things within the parameters of a service academy. It gives you great structure, and by being there, I think it's made us and made myself a better coach for this opportunity at Drexel, which is an equally big ask and big task for us to get things going in the direction where it is right now. But we're excited about the opportunity, and certainly excited to be in Warminster for the day today. And looking forward to the challenge ahead of us.
So you spend a lot of time actually here in Warminster, and as you all know, a lot of people know,
recruiting.
Archbishop Wood is just about not even more than 10 minutes away from here, and just this past year, Wood wins the 5A state championship, has about 5 seniors coming back this coming year, and you're pretty excited about what your season actually has for you in store, and a lot of Philadelphia names that I know that you're going to be recruiting 1 month from now, because for those of you who are wondering, the live period is coming up officially after the 4th of July. This man I know has, along with many other people, have been really trying to catch up and spend time with their families. So what's really in store, I guess, for Drexel basketball? Because you've had even in your first year, this was a successful type of year. It wasn't the year you wanted, but at least it's a start, right?
Yeah, somewhere my wife's rolling her eyes when you talk about catching up with family time. I'm not sure we've done that yet, but there'll be a time and a place for that. But year 1 was year 1, and year 2 is year 2. If you're going to judge it by wins and losses, you may come up short just about every time. And what we're looking to is to make a footprint on our culture and our identity. And your culture takes many years to build, and it will evolve. But we want to be a couple things we want to be known for, and we're working with our team to understand what those are right now. We had a great conditioning session this morning at 7:45.
Oh, man.
And that's what we got to do to get better. So, we're excited about the summer and the opportunity to improve and to understand what we're going to be about. And
I know you pretty well as far as the the basketball world, like I said, we go back so far. We respect one another. Like we said, we've always gotten along with each other. What's been the best part about living here in Philadelphia?
Oh, there's so many. It's tough to start with
Was
one.
the voice one?
Yeah, is it the reason we took the job?
No, I don't think that was the reason. I don't think that was the reason, but I think that was probably one of the big reasons. You could see the voice year round.
Yeah, we all love it when you go third person.
No, but we all love it when you have a good announcer, though, at some of your events, right?
That's correct. That's correct. And Dan Baker, who did some of our events, is
Yes,
here today.
yes, and he is here today. That's right, the great Dan Baker. Did you see Dan Baker?
Not yet.
No, but we are definitely going to drive by and see him. Again, Zach Spiker, want to thank you for having us here. We're going to continue driving this man around so that he can mingle with some of the crowd. And again, we thank you for at least honoring us with the push-ups. Again, the great Zach Spiker from Drexel University here in another edition of Voice of Reason. I'm Jake Schwartz. It's a rainy day here at the Springville Country Club, but you know what? It's still a good day to go golfing, and it's also an even better day for a great cause. I loved it. Okay, so the rain continuing here again, as mentioned, the big brothers and big sisters in Warminster, PA, and I'm sitting here alongside one of probably the best relief pitchers in the history of Philadelphia Philly baseball. Apparently, the guy Gene Calmer, who really set up the whole thing of Calmer Advertising, put this thing together. Ricky Metallico is in the building. Ricky, it's first off, it's great to see you again, and I've actually had you on many other shows, but I've never actually had you on the new show that I'm running, which is Voice of Reason. It's good to see you, as always.
Good to see you. It's great to be here, even though the weather's not cooperating right now, but you know what? Anytime you could get on a golf course, have a good time with people is always good for me.
Yeah. And you're one of the many people who's been a pretty frequent golfer over the years, and we go back to the days of the Drive for Autism at DuPont Country Club, and although you weren't able to make it out this year, you definitely were it's kind of there, I guess you could say, in spirit. You were able to sort of make your presence felt, I guess, in the spirit, because you mentioned to me, and two of your guys were there, Ben Davis and Tommy Green, and Tommy actually was a recipient here last year at Springville. In fact, Tommy had said he was still debating on coming or not, but I think the weather kind of was a big reason why he didn't come. But it's been just certainly what a great atmosphere, though. Anytime, and I think I just talked with Zach Spiker. Anytime, it's a good day to be a Duck. It's also a good day to be a member of Big Brothers and Big Sisters. What a day they put together here.
Oh, it's outstanding. You know what? I mean, what a great cause. Everybody out here to support Big Brothers, Big Sisters. It's funny. Anything you could do to give, to help out, it's always a positive, And I mean, granted, you talk about the weather, that being a Duck and everything. It's okay. People are out here having a good time, and they're supporting a good cause. And anytime you could put something together that you get a great bunch of people here and people that are very generous, I think it's a great ordeal.
Yeah, we don't. As long as we don't get struck by lightning, I think it's pretty safe to say.
I think we're pretty safe. I already checked. I already checked.
Yeah.
I think we're pretty safe.
Well, let's check something else out about what your job is doing these days. As we all know, I know you are one of the lead anchors on Phillies Post and Pregame Live. It's been kind of a struggle watching this team, and I spoke to Ben Davis about it again on Thursday on Voice of Reason, and he mentioned something about it's been kind of like a madhouse. You don't know what team is going to show up one day, and then you just like a good team. It's Jekyll and Hyde. Seems like every single day.
Yeah, I think what Ben means by that is that you sit there, you watch this team, and one day you'll get a good starting performance. The bullpen fails. The next day you get a lot of hitting, and the starting pitching fails. It's Jekyll and Hyde. When I go to the ballpark or I go to the studio, you never know what you're gonna. It's the box of chocolates,
and you're always.
Box of chocolates.
And you're definitely keeping an eye, I know, on this team. I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but this weekend I believe we took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. Is that correct?
Yeah, it took 2 out of 3 from the Giants. Never easy, though.
No,
I mean,
easy.
They got beat up in Game 1 on Friday, and then squeezed by the 2 games on Saturday and Sunday.
4 home runs on Sunday, actually.
Which is always good. I mean, the guys that you need to get going, Franco and Herrera, seems like they're starting to swing the bats a little better.
Yes.
But, I mean, it's got to be a lot better
Well,
for
it's
this team to get
summertime,
going.
and as we all know, in the summer, it seems like that's when the seasons,
Right.
as they say, no pun intended, that's when the seasons, I guess you could say, hitting season. Well, you can call it whatever, I think you can pretty much call it whatever you want to call it, but I saw on the bottom line on ESPN, I didn't get a chance because I was not around this weekend, but I just remember reading on the bottom line on ESPN was the first 2-game winning streak they've had since April. And that's very rare because it just seems like every time you watch the Phillies game, it just seems like there's a lot of work to be done with this team.
There is a lot of work. And I think the biggest problem that most fans have right now is that they're not really sure who to grasp onto, who's going to be here in the
Who's
future.
gonna be the superstar?
Who are their superstars going to be? I don't think their superstars are here yet. I think they're
Are
trying
the
to.
minors?
Yeah, I believe so. I think they're trying to find a core, but they just haven't found it yet. And you know, Philadelphia has always been a city that wants to identify with their team, and it's hard to identify with this team right now because you just don't get a feel that all these guys are going to be here in the near future.
And you're a guy that, like I said, that's aside from being an announcer, you're also one of the biggest baseball fans. You love watching baseball. Again, how many years exactly were you in the major leagues, if you don't mind my asking?
I was in the big leagues for 11 and a half years.
Yeah, that's what I 11 and a half years, and you didn't grow up around Philadelphia. Where were you born in?
I'm from Connecticut.
That's what I thought. So, what has been the transition coming to Philadelphia from Connecticut, where there really isn't a whole lot of baseball in Connecticut,
Well,
correct?
there wasn't, but I mean, in Connecticut, it's either the Red Sox, Yankees, or
That's true.
Mets. I
That's
mean,
true.
that's what it's all about. But I mean, the fans are the same way up there. They're nuts. I mean,
passionate.
they're passionate,
Yes.
and I think it's the same way down here. When your team doesn't win, they're going to let you know. When you're winning, they're going to love you.
Oh,
And quite frankly, the way I grew up, I think that's the way it should be. So I was never offended to get booed. As a matter of fact, I was always told before I got to the big leagues, you are going to get booed at some point.
Oh yeah,
So
and
just,
you know from experience. I
Yeah,
believe,
it's-
when you were playing.
it's
here.
live with it. You get booed. You move on. You play the next game. If you do well, then that's how it is. It's what have you done for me lately? It's not what have you done for me in the past. Not what you're going to do in the future. It's today.
Okay, one last question. Tonight, the Philadelphia Phillies start a 3-game series. They'll play the Atlanta Braves. What is the outlook going to start off the month of June? Because as a lot of people know, interleague play is coming up, and we all know that they always go in a rut, and we've seen it 1,000 times. What does the outlook hold for the next month?
I'm hoping 500 or better for the month. Although they do have a tough schedule, they have a 9-game road trip starting today. So I mean, this is when you got to kick it into gear. You got the Atlanta Braves, not a really good ball club. You just got to be ready to play every day, and I think the way to watch this team is on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah.
You can't look back, you can't look forward. You got to look at what's on the field that day, and then start your grading process from there.
Well, again, as always, it may be raining, but we're certainly here for a great cause. Ricky Metallica, as always, we thank you for joining us. Good seeing you. Always good to see you, by the way. And we will definitely catch up with you on another edition of Voice of Reason. Ricky Metallica again, post-game live analyst and Phillies pitcher here on Voice of Reason. Yeah, the rain's still continuing again here at the Springville Country Club. Again, Jake Schwartz for another edition of Voice of Reason here at the Big Brothers and Big Sisters of Bucks County. Just about 15 minutes, again, as mentioned, from my backyard, and sitting here talking with arguably the greatest goalie in the history of Philadelphia Flyers hockey. And I've had you actually on before on many of my other different shows, but this is actually Bernie Perrott for you. It's the first time here on Voice of Reason. It's good to see you, and even a rainy day, what a great cause certainly we're here for.
This is, I always make a comparison with the hockey team and the world of business or some association like this trying to help people. And, when I played, I was a goalie. We had defensemen, we had forwards, we had coaches. And you can't win by yourself.
Yeah.
It's the same thing here. You have to have the support, and you have to have the people to help. And when we do this, you look how rewarding that we're able to help a lot of kids. This is what it's all about.
And you, like I said, are a man who loves golf. You just actually got done doing a weekend tour of golfing in the Poconos. You and your partner, I guess, were out in the Poconos. The best part about an event like this, and I guess we were together at Dry for Autism. At the end of the day, it's all about charity. So we're definitely safe to say that we're making people's lives happier.
Yes, we are, as a group. And you know what? Even if it rains, it's no big deal. I always
You grew up in Canada.
I always said, if people in the hospital right now would be willing to trade the places with us, so it's only rain. Let's enjoy, and you know what it does when it rains like this?
Yeah.
It makes you appreciate when you're playing golf in a sunny day. How about that?
Well, keep this in mind. Whether it rains or whether it snows or whether it's even sunny out, the most important thing is the weather may change, but the charity is still going to be the same. Let's get an update on Bernie Parent. Tell everybody these days here at Voice of Reason what you're doing.
Well, I'm still involved with the Flyers, PR, know. And during the games, we go visit different suites and we shake hands. And, it's beautiful people because, you have to remember, always remember the fans because if you have no fans, you don't have a game. So, you have to be there. Then I do work for major corporations and I wrote a book. I wrote a book on...
You wrote a book?
A book on risk and fear, And it's a beautiful book, and you have to have vision in life, not just goals, but a vision. And then you set up little goals, one at a time to get to that vision. It's a beautiful thing.
And these days, again, we can reminisce about the good old days with the Flyers. I know it was sort of a kind of a up and down type of year. Tell us about that moment. You played probably with the greatest group of guys that known as the Broad Street Bullies. Is there one specific moment that you can remember in your playing days?
Oh, there's quite a few.
Oh, I know that. I know that. I know that. I know that. We know that.
But quickly as a kid, your vision is to play National Hockey League. And then once you reach that, then your next vision is to win the Stanley Cup. And when we won the first Stanley Cup in Philly, everybody jumped on the ice, and what a celebration that we had. 7 years earlier, they introduced us, the players, on Broad Street to the people in Philly, and we had more people on the float than we had watching us. It's funny. And 7 years later, we won the cup, and we had 2 million people.
Yeah,
how about that?
And you were definitely one of the most. You were almost like the rock stars of the 70s in Philadelphia. How you had like the Beatles and the Rolling Stones. You are definitely were like those type of people because it just seemed like everywhere you went, everybody just wanted just to talk to you and to meet with you. I mean, when people I know would walk up and say, "Oh my God, there goes Bernie Parent." I'm thinking and I get a chance to have known you for so many years. It's like again, the popularity still again is the same. Are you having a good golf day here today?
Yeah, very good. I'm part of a good foursome.
Yes.
It's awesome. And I like to tell people, if you want to have fun in life, be loving, love people, shake hands. You don't have to spend time with them, but just say some kind words. And you don't fit in with everybody, but you shake hands, be kind, be loving, and move on. And when you do this, it's amazing what you leave people with.
You know how much I love everything that you do because, like I said, you're one of the most unique people in Flyers history. You're also one of the best charitable type of people. So do you have anything else that you'd like to say to your fans out there?
Just keep smiling, keep laughing.
Yes.
And laughing, is a beautiful, laughing will cure all kinds of diseases. And when you're happy, good things happen to you.
It's Bernie Parent here from the Philadelphia Flyers. Always good to see you, by the way. And thank you for joining us on another edition. It's rainy, but like I said, we're still here for the big brothers and big sisters in Warminster, PA. Bernie Parent again of the Philadelphia Flyers on Voice of Reason.